At Vishnu IAS Academy, we are coming up with interview training program, a free initiative whereby daily newspaper will be discussed. Everyone, whoever are going for interview, join us, and whoever are not going for interview, the news will be useful for you. Thank you. Good evening all. So today, the newspaper 27th May, we will be discussing, and emphasis will be on MSME sector as well as Lakshadweep Development Regulation, Lakshadweep Development Authority. Yes, this is the regular issue which is in the news. WhatsApp, what is happening around WhatsApp. So by the time within 1 week, we will be coming to a conclusion with respect to these rules, intermediary rules in order to regulate the WhatsApp. WhatsApp, the originating message, the information regarding originating message need to be given to the regulatory authority of the government. So they went to Delhi High Court and filed a petition. That is about the WhatsApp news. Center state must clarify stance on Maratha quota. Very good question. Center state must clarify stance on Maratha. So my question is, with respect to this center state clarify stance on Maratha quota, what is the recent judgment? What is the recent judgment with respect to this Maratha quota? Prudvina.
Sir, recently Supreme Court gave the judgment that it cannot breach the 50% cap which was kept in Indira Savana case, and yes, that is what I remember.
No, the main point, I want the main point.
Yeah, I also spoke about center and state's role in deciding reservations for a particular section.
Very good. Very good. So what is the role of state?
In the interpretation, in the judgment, it gave more power to the center. I think states have advisory role in this respect.
First point is correct. Second one, Manoj.
So Supreme Court interpreted that BC or OBC classification can be done only by the Parliament, as it is done with respect to SCs and STs. As it is done, President notifies those OBCs list and Parliament can only amend those lists. This judgment effectively took away power from states to classify few castes as backward classes or socio-economic backward classes. So Center has filed a revision petition saying that states need to be provided power to have their own state OBC list.
Yes. The privilege of the state to determine socially and educationally backward. What happened in Maharashtra? The Maharashtra government in its legislation, in its legislative assembly, passed a bill saying that Marathas are socially and educationally backward. So the state itself through a bill, now the Supreme Court told cannot make any caste groups as backward classes, as backward castes in state and other backward classes in central. So state government have no role. The state government can advise to the central government and central government will make a draft and they will pass a bill in the parliament. Then only this new caste groups will be getting the other backward classes. That is about the judgment of Maratha case. Anything you want to tell, Harati?
That's it, sir.
There is a very important case called as Nagaraj case 2006. What is about?
Sir, it is regarding the reservations in promotions. So it agrees to the reservations in promotion and puts in place some conditions that they should that although reservation is being given in the promotion, it should not adversely affect the competency of the organization we're talking about.
As of now, what is the status? Whether in promotions the reservations are there for SC, ST, OBCs?
Yes, sir, there are. For SC and ST, sir, not for OBCs.
Very good. Only for SC and ST. Yes.
Yes.
There is something called as creamy layer concept in one of the judgment with respect to SC, STs. What is that judgment about? whether Supreme Court told that we need to consider the creamy layer concept in SC/ST as well?
Yes, sir. It has suggested that we should look for arriving at some sort of creamy layer classification like we did for OBCs, even for SC/STs.
Then what is the stand of government?
Sir, I am not aware of it, sir, but government has not so far not come up with any such proposal or suggestion.
Utkarsh, on the same.
Yes, sir. Government or Supreme Court has mentioned about the creamy layer concept, in which they have clearly aimed to make this reservation process much more egalitarian. In terms of economics, those who are having some job above certain level of income, as well as access to land or house, are considered to be in the creamy layer, and they won't be getting the benefit of the reservations. Regarding same, different organizations, institutions, as well as judiciary has mentioned that some kind of creamy layer concept should be devolved in case of SC and STs. But as of now, there is no such.
Yes, very good. Yes. So similarly, on political grounds, can you name some of the communities who got OBC reservations earlier and got quashed by the court, by the judiciary?
Sir, I believe Patidar community
Mhm.
in Gujarat, and so I can remember this one at the moment.
Vinay?
The Marathas in Maharashtra, that has been recently been passed by yes. Am I audible, sir?
No. Kiran Kumar, yes.
Sir, I believe the Jats from Rajasthan or Punjab got this, and that was quashed by the Supreme Court. And even Marathas in Maharashtra got it at the state level, but this was also quashed recently by Supreme Court, saying that state don't have the power to identify backward classes or backward castes.
What are such communities who are demanding OBCs? Can you name some of the caste groups
Yes,
other
sir.
than those?
Yes, sir. Patidars in Gujarat, and from my own state, Kapus are demanding
Yes, correct.
from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes. And coming to the political turmoil in Nepal, in this newspaper, something which is there, which is Kala Pani boundary issue. Kala Pani boundary issue. Soumit Raj, what is this Kala Pani boundary issue?
Sir, the Kalapani area is the area bordering the eastern Uttarakhand and western Nepal, sir. It also has the there are three places there: Lipulek, Limpiadura, and Kalapani, which are contested regions, which Nepal is recently has claimed that these areas.
Everyone, this is practice sessions. This is not question and answers. Please develop your communication skills. This is just a practice session. Now you will do in the interview. Soumit, please, slowly.
Sir.
This you remember in your mind.
Sir, sorry, sir. Say it slowly. So the Kalapani contested area is so there is a conflict between the origin of the river Kalapani, sir, in the area. Nepal claims that it originates further northwestern to what India currently thinks of, and this results into a considerable portion of our Uttarakhand being claimed by the Nepalese government, sir. So recently, they in their map they have included this region, and this has led to a type of cartographic aggression towards the Indian soil. So, the government of India has also not agreed to this map, and yes.
Very good, very good. Yes, there is a historical conflict between Madeshis and Maoists. Manoj Kumar and Nagababu, can you explain about it? What is the conflict all about?
Sorry, sir, I'm not exactly aware of between Madeshis and
Nagababu?
Hello, sir. Sir, Madhesis are the valley people they are traditionally expected to be aligned with India. They share roti beti ka rishta with India. Communists are naturally aligned with China. So there is the conflict between these two people, sir.
No, what is internally? Why they fight for their interest? What is their interest?
I am not very sure, sir. But recent constitutional changes are trying to curtail the political, I mean, political
Vinay,
representation of Madhesi peoples.
Vinay.
Sorry, sir. Even I'm not aware.
Yes. Prudvinath,
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it.
Utkarsh.
Same here, sir. I'm not sure about the answer.
Soumit, anyone?
Sir, it's
Sir.
Yes, please.
the Madhesis are the plain living people who have a border with India, that region.
See, no factual mistake. It is plain, not valley. Yes.
So traditionally, they are an ethnic group in themselves, and traditionally they have been discriminated against when it comes to power sharing and other arrangements in Nepal. So this has been a sore point within the country. So the Madhesis are fighting for equal rights and equal treatment with the rest of the community. And Indian government has also voiced the same concern that Madhesis should be represented on an equal basis.
It is political interest. It is the sharing of the power. They want to share the political power. That is a major interest. That is their interest. And other than that, they are tilted towards India. They are tilted towards China. Yes, very good, Nag Babu. Very good attempt. Yes. The big thing which is happening right now is Lakshadweep Development Authority. So there is one person called as Praful Patel. This person, who is a politician, was been appointed as the administrator and who usurped the power. So tell me the history of Lakshadweep. Anyone here geography optional? Yes, you only know, Bharati. Yes, geography
Yes,
optional.
sir.
Tell me the geography of Lakshadweep. Historical.
Sir, Lakshadweep is a coral island. So it's ecological, that makes it ecologically very fragile. And adding to it, it is also, it has a different social reality. Like more than 90% of the population is tribal population. And also, again, there's a large share of Muslim population as well. They have a close connection ties with the coastal community on the west coast. So this is their geographical and social reality.
Okay. Kiran Kumar, Lakshadweep, about their history.
Sir, they are majorly tribal population who have connect with Islamic origins, like the West Asian region, and many of them are Muslims, sir. I think 70% of them are have their religion as Islam. So the current issue is that administrator was has a political background, and he has taken some steps which affected the Islamic way of life and the culture of the Lakshadweep as well. And it is perceived as against their culture, sir. So some of the steps include banning of the beef, which is part of their culture, and the COVID restrictions were also taken away before. That led to increased COVID cases in them, and also some in the name of development, some of the restrictions were done away with. So now anyone can own land there, and land of Lakshadweep Islanders can be taken. Though that was also opposed, sir.
So my question is, you both of you told that in Lakshadweep, indigenous tribal population is living. Can you name the tribal population? Are you sure in Lakshadweep tribal population is living? Anyone with the answer?
Yes, sir. The record does say that more than 90% of the population belong to the ST community, which is the scheduled tribes community.
So those tribal community were being converted into Muslims and they had tilted towards the Kerala, Malayalis, isn't it?
Yes,
I will tell you the total story. See, listen. Lakadiv, Amendviv, and the Kaveri as the capital formed as an independent union territory in the year 1956. Then after 1956, the name was being changed in 1974. Before that, the three, Meenakoi, Amendviv, Lakdev, this together was been there. So the tribal population which you are telling, there is no indigenous tribal population in Lakshadweep. The immigrants, mainly from Arab, from the Kerala, the immigrants people started staying in Lakshadweep. And this Lakshadweep people, because very near to the Arab population, they got converted into Islam. And here comes the story of this person. So they were as a union territory, the central government was been controlling, but recently this person was been appointed. And this person, what he is doing is, as rightly put by Kiran, beef was been banned in panchayat elections. Compulsory, those people can only contest who are having only 2 children or less. So already the population growth rate is very less in Lakshadweep. The population is somewhere around 65,000. So they want to increase the population, but it is not happening. But because of this panchayat regulations, more the population might come down. Number 3, the Gunda Act, which is been brought by this person, Gunda Act, which tells that they can arrest any person till 1 year without any warrant or without any reason. They can arrest any person, although there is no crime rate. A considerable crime rate is not there in Lakshadweep, but still this person is enforcing it upon. 4th, Lakshadweep Development Authority, whereby they want to convert into a tourism sector. So the ship, the fishing was been stopped in some areas. Their sheds were been removed. They were been not allowed to move freely in the islands. The trees, everything were been destroyed, and the mainly tourism sector, the emphasis was happening. So the local people were against it. And the most important point is, politically they are associated with Kerala because all the groceries or all the items which they get from the Kerala Cochin port. But now the central government or this administrator is trying to make this groceries to be lifted from Mangaluru airport, but not with Kerala. Why? Because the Kerala is a communist which they don't want to interact with the Lakshadweep. These are the major things. So one thing you have to do the homework today is whether there is any indigenous population in Lakshadweep. For this answer, we will be discussing tomorrow. Whether if it is, then what is the tribal community? Whether if it is not there, then that means the migrants are the people who are living in the Lakshadweep. These are the 5 important points according to the Lakshadweep Development Authority headed by the administrator. Yes. Then what would be the best solution? Soumit Raj.
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the complete issue.
So the best solution would be the administrator should be a civil servant as usual, or else a retired civil servant, or a person of social status, but not a person who is politically associated with any political party. Why? Because this person is politically associated. Any other solution?
Sir, I think that even though he's politically associated, what matters is that which policies he's implementing, what is his vision. So irrespective of his political commitment and association, if he's putting forward the aspirations, need and demand of the local people, giving due respect to their culture, then that should be the way forward.
Yes.
For that, any administrator and even whoever works is fine.
Yes.
Sir, I can say some suggestions, sir.
Yes.
Like tribal advisory councils in 5th schedule areas or any others. There can be some autonomous body where there is a representation from all the communities there to advise the administrator, so that cultural concerns can be taken into account before such decisions.
Very good. So that there will be decentralization. Now what is happening, in spite of decentralization, more centralization is happening because of this process. Is it not?
Strengthening Gram Panchayats would be a good idea.
Yes, strengthening Gram Panchayat would be a great idea. That means earlier panchayats are there. Now he is centralizing it, this person. Yes,
Yes, sir.
please. Anyone want to add anything more? Sweta or Harati?
No, sir.
Okay. Next. This is about Lakshadweep. This is about Lakshadweep. The end of the road for India's GST. Only about the GST got reduced because of the pandemic. UN chief discussed ramping up supply of jabs. This is the conspiracy against the China is very angry against USA. You are conspiring a theory against us. What you are telling is wrong, that COVID is not born in our laboratory. The China is angry against USA. Yes, this is very important. The injustice to Stan Swami. Can you tell me, up to now in India, 3 terrorist related laws were being made? Can you name them? Anyone?
Sir, one of them is UAPA, sir, unlawful
Activities.
National Security.
Yes, next.
There is POTA, sir.
POTA, okay, prevention of terrorist activities. Yes.
So
See,
something like TADA also is there. TADA.
something. Yes, is that. So UAPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. Then we have TADA, Terrorist and Disruptive Activities 1987. Then we have POTA, Prevention of Terrorist Acts 2002. I will tell you very important points. You just note it out. See, listen. UAPA 1967 didn't declare terrorism, didn't spoke about terrorism. At that time, India was not experiencing terrorism, but the central government have excessive power. Any activity can be declared as unlawful and the eventual punishment can be given by the central government by an executive resolution. UAPA. So central government is having exclusive power according to the UAPA, where they can determine any activity as the unlawful activity, not terrorist activity, unlawful activity. Then came in 1987, we are experiencing it. Then came TADA. In TADA, what happened? Terrorist activities, terrorist and disruptive activities, 1987. The police got eventual power. Police got eventual power. Any submission given by the witness in front of the police is admissible as the evidence with respect to terrorist activities. Means if any person, if any suspect also, if he gives any declaration, that declaration will be considered as the witness evidence. That itself is an evidence. That was being misused like anything. I'm telling the negative things in that. And terrorist groups were being recognized. Some associations, organizations were being recognized as terrorist groups according to TADA. Then POTA came, POTA. This POTA, any suspect can be arrested for 6 months, 180 days. Just if he is a suspect, then he can be arrested. Without any warrant, without any whereabouts, he can be arrested for 6 months. That is the negative with respect to POTA. And the recent one amendment, which is UAPA Amendment Act 2019, not only the terrorist groups will be branded as terrorist groups, individuals will also be called as terrorists. So that this Masood Azhar, this Jaish-e-Mohammed head, Lashkar-e-Toiba head, these people were being declared as terrorists. So my question is about, there is one person, this article moves about a one person called as Stan Swami, who tilted towards Maoists in that Maharashtra issue. In Maharashtra, where the incident of Dalits versus Marathas, Dalits versus Marathas issues happened, this person was being arrested under UAPA, unlawful activities. His health is not good, but he is being denied. He has been denied bail. That is this article all about. So sedition, UPA, but sedition is not. Sedition will not talk about the terrorists. UAPA, TADA, POTA, these three only talks about the terrorists. National Security Act also doesn't talk about terrorists. These 3 acts talks about terrorists. Yes. Anything anyone want to add to it? Prithvi? Can you tell me the functions of NIA, National Investigative Agency?
National Investigative Agency has jurisdiction over the different acts, which different acts which were mentioned under the NIA Act, like counter-terrorism and any act which affects the national security. I don't remember the provisions exactly. So it has also overarching jurisdiction over the state police and other investigative agencies.
Why? Because recently NIA Act got amended. What is that amendment, Manoj Kumar, or anyone aware of it?
So I think it provided powers to inspector to conduct cases. So previously
Very
it was with the DSPs. I think it was transferred to.
Very good. It was with the DSP. It is transferred to inspector. Very good. One more thing. Earlier, there is, yes, please.
Sir, extraterrestrial jurisdiction was also given, sir.
Like
now, like if ONGC, Videsh, any of its entities were attacked by terrorists outside India, if it is in Saudi Arabia, still NIA can act on them, sir. They can arrest them and prosecute them, sir.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Whether there will be any special code under NIA?
Yes, sir. Special courts were also established with the recent amendment, sir, to deal with such cases.
Yes, someone is telling. Yes, someone is answering.
So I was saying that new domains were provided to it, like human trafficking.
Very good.
Counter currencies, sorry,
Yes,
fake currencies, something.
Counterfeit currency, human trafficking was been added to the terrorists. Yes. Yes. One more question. Is there any bill to establish a dedicated institution, dedicated enforcement agency to curtail human trafficking? Vasan, Harati?
I'm not aware of it, sir.
Anyone?
Sir, human trafficking cell was established under MHA, sir, Ministry of Home Affairs, to deal with such cases recently.
Yes, the government is planning a body similar to CBI, which will be exclusively dealing with the human trafficking interstate. Wherever the interstate ramifications are there, now a bill has been passed, not passed, placed in the parliament to establish an institution. Only human trafficking related issues will be discussed, or human trafficking enforcement things will be taken care by this body. About this body, tomorrow I will give you the content in the group. Yes. MSME new definition. Anyone? Nagababu?
Sir, the new definition is based on turnover. If it is less than 1 crore turnover per year, then it will be small industry. Hello?
Turnover 1 crore means very less, no? Again.
Revenues. Revenues, if it is less than 1 crore, it is small.
No.
Then
Yes.
if it is...
Utkarsh.
Sir, if the turnover is less than 5 crore, then it is small. If it
Investment?
is investment on capital goods is between 1 to 2 crores.
See, micro. 1 crore investment, turnover 5 crore. Small investment 10 crore less, below 10 crore, and turnover 50 crore. Important this is not factual, but you have to remember. Medium investment less than 20 crore and turnover 100 crore. This is the new definition. And there is no distinction between manufacturing and services. Yes, Nagababu, same question for you. Earlier, see, this is the old wala. This is the old wala where manufacturing and service is there. Different definitions are there, different criteria are there. Why they merged manufacturing and services, Nagababu? What would be the rationality?
I am not very sure, sir. Maybe GST also doesn't distinguish between these two. I am not sure.
Somitraj, what is the rationale behind clubbing manufacturing and service? This thing,
Sir,
anyone?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Sir, is it because it is very hard to differentiate between manufacturing and services these days? The companies are offering both of those products.
Yes, Somit.
Sir, I'm not aware.
So I think it is just to reduce the amount of regulation that's required as a part of that.
For recategorization or reclassifying the definition or criteria, it is very simple that COVID. So the people will worry that if they come, if the investment is less than 10 or if the investment is less than 5, they will fall under. If they cross 10 crores, they will lose their benefits of being medium. They lose their benefit of small. They will lose their benefit of micro. So they might manipulate. So for that sake, there is a reclassification. The amount was being increased. So that is the logic behind it, why they shifted from old to new criteria. Utkarsh, why there is a clubbing of both?
So as mentioned earlier, I think that because both services and manufacturing comes under GST. Second of all, currently there is greater integration of both manufacturing and services. And third of all, to consolidate the overall loss, I believe.
Harati or Prudvi?
Sir, it creates unnecessary bias. If you see the old classification, clearly it's more favorable towards the services because the limits are lower there compared to the manufacturing. I think it's to remove this bias. If you see the credit outflow towards the MSME sector earlier, you'll see that the much of the credit was cornered by the service MSMEs rather than manufacturing MSMEs. It partly, this is because of the bias within the classification. Maybe it's to remove the bias.
Very good. Prudvi?
Is it because we are going to follow a cluster approach after this? Cluster approach for MSME development, right?
Okay. Manoj
to
Kumar?
attract investments equally.
So earlier, the limits for defining micro, medium, and micro, small, and medium were higher for manufacturing industries, whereas it was lower for service sector industries. So this
Correct.
was discriminating against service industries. Government of India felt that services sector can be encouraged by increasing the limit and by merging both of them. Sir.
Good. These all valid. Yes. So, what are the steps taken by the government of India to boost MSME sector post-COVID or running COVID right now in order to boost it, reboost it, other than Startup India, other than Stand Up India, other than Mudra? Tell me the points.
So the recent reclassification is one.
Okay.
The second, I would say, are the collateral-free loans provided under the Atmanirbhar package.
Very good. See,
And
1 minute. Collateral-free automatic loan worth rupees 3 lakhs to MSMEs in distress. Automatic and collateral free. These are very two things. Very important points.
Sir, also additionally provided some relief mechanism for stressed MSMEs for facing problems of NPAs and stuff.
Like?
And I do not know the exact provisions, sir, but there were relief measures, particularly for stressed MSMEs. And it allowed MSMEs to take part in government tenders directly, which are less than 200 crore. And in this category, government would not be taking global tenders. So now the domestic MSMEs can take better opportunities, better use of the opportunity. So I think, and one, it has directed the government departments to pay back the dues within a short period. So these are some I remember.
Yes. Someone was telling.
Sir, I think the whole policy perspective of the government with Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is vocal for local, is a big boost to manufacturing and the growth of MSMEs itself. Sir.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Next. Anything more? See, yesterday's a very good point told by someone. See, electronic market linkage for MSME to be promoted to act as a replacement for trade fairs and exhibition, means to replace offline online. E-market linkage, that is also there. That is very important. No, market is very important. Any steps rather than this loans?
So there is, I think the EPFO and ESI provide some kind of, EPFO provides both employee and employer part of the contribution, and also easy they can withdraw their contribution part of it earlier from the corpus, something like that.
1 minute. I believe personally that rather than giving some status or benefits, I believe that government should create a market for them, so they themselves can buy. Why they want the loans? So market should be created for them. So one is e-market linkage is a very good
government e-market.
Yes. So when market is there, when where more number of avenues are there where I can sell my good or where I can market my service. So other than e-market linkage, anything such marketization is for MSME.
I think like Uma has mentioned, government is trying to be the first customer for the MSMEs.
Yes, government is the first customer. Very good. Yes. So the priority for the government will be MSME. Yes. Either it may be ISRO or DRDO. Yes. Any point more? Utkarsh, Nagbabu, Prithvi.
The government has made all like it's a long-time policy that it has to procure at least 25% of procurement is from MSMEs.
Yes, that is a case. Old one. True.
Sir, hello.
Yes.
Sir, UK government did something like if the customers go to restaurant, 50% bill will be paid by the government. 50% the customer can pay. This will be a boost to MSMEs.
At the time of COVID,
At the time of COVID.
Very
so
good.
maybe maybe the government can also do something like that, so that demand will increase for their products and they can come out of this COVID problem.
Very good answer. But sometimes.
Sir, I want to add steps that are being taken in Andhra Pradesh for MSMEs. So in each of the 175 assembly constituencies, based on the local requirement, 175 MParks were being established, where based on the local requirement, MSME cluster will be developed in each of the parliament assembly constituencies. Sir.
Oh, very good. Yes. My question is, it seems to be easy, but I'm sure that you won't answer everyone. Prudvinath, Mudra loan is a refinance loan. Yes or no?
Sir.
Refinance means?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to define.
Kiran Kumar, what is refinance? Mudra is a refinance. First line we will be reading. Mudra is a refinance.
Yes, sir. So whatever the MSMEs are getting the loan from certain bank, that local bank, the same amount of loan, the same amount would be reimbursed or given by the small, the umbrella bank to this.
For example, tell with an example.
Yes, sir. If I own an MSME, I go to local cooperative bank and take a loan for my MSME under Mudra scheme. So I take 5 lakhs loan. So the 5 lakhs will be reimbursed by Mudra Bank to this local cooperative bank, sir.
Sir,
Yes, Somit. Yes, Somit.
So what I want to add refinance actually is whatever loans are raised issued by the banks, those are combined together to form a corpus, like some kind of financial engineering where that is used to raise more funds, and that cycle goes on and on.
sir, I think Mudra has come in a context of a problem, sir, and that problem is because these banks, small scale banks, which are not able to lend to the MSMEs because of the rising NPAs, as well as the MSME is not being able to pay back. So in order to repair
That is CGTMSE. That is CGTMSE, Credit Guarantee Trust for MSME. CGTMSE will be there in the bank. That I will tell you, citizen. I am a banker. A customer will come near me. So what I will tell to him? So I will give you the loan to you, but what you have to do, you have to register for CGTMSE. Why? Because if this MSME person is unable to pay back to me, I will tell to the CGTMSE, then CGTMSE will be paying back to me. That is CGTMSE like insurance.
Refinancing meaning the Mudra loans are being helped to being helped to make those banks borrow more, sir. Sorry, lend more is what I mean.
Simple language, tell me what is refinance.
Sir, refinance for me is something where a loan has already been extended to a particular industries or a company, and it's in requirement of some more loan, which will be refinanced by the concerned bank.
Sir, can I rephrase my answer?
Yes, please.
So here, once loan is issued by a bank, those loans are all put together as an asset, which the bank can then sell on to other people who want to hold that asset and raise more funds to lend more again to more borrowers. It is some kind of financial engineering.
Yes. Harati.
Sir, I think it means financing the banks that are extending loans to the MSMEs. Like, let's say a loan is a small bank is extending loan to MSMEs, and then you support the bank. So you finance the institution that's financing MSMEs.
So you are telling that there will be a Mudra loan, Mudra Bank will be giving to the SBI, yes. SBI will be giving to the customer.
Yes, or something like that.
Then Mudra, how again Mudra will recapitalize it? How the Mudra will get the money? Then this SBI will pay back to the Mudra?
Not aware of the details, but I believe this is how the funds flow.
So refinance, yes.
Sir, after as she mentioned, after the customer pays to the SBI, that SBI would be paying to the Mudra Bank, sir. So Mudra Bank will be acting as an umbrella to all the banks that are lending to the MSMEs. If I am an MSME, I will go to any bank and seek the loan under Mudra scheme. So whatever the loan I get, that will be reimbursed by Mudra Bank to the bank that is giving me loan, sir.
If the MSME defaulted, then?
If the MSME, that risk is borne by Mudra Bank, sir.
Okay. So Mudra will be giving some criteria. They have to follow the criteria. They have to lend.
Yes, sir. This middle banks would be shielded from risk, sir. That's what the ideology under that Mudra scheme.
Vinay Vamshi, Manoj Kumar also.
Sir, basically what Mudra does is it takes all the loans, and then if anybody, like whatever the supposed income from those loans are, the payments and all, those are sold on to other investors possibly. And when that is done, when the capital raised from the sale of those assets is usually used to lend more, it will be sent to other, like whichever banks are doing the lending by Mudra.
Manoj?
So I'm aware of one little thing, sir. Can I say it?
Yes.
So Mudra Bank initially provides certain amount to the commercial banks or NBFCs or anything, sir. Says some 20,000 crores. In turn, banks will lend an amount higher than this 20,000 to MSMEs or non-agriculture sector. So if any part of the loan isn't repaid by the customer, then Mudra Bank will bear the burden, sir. the middle people will learn by getting the extra amount, and not all the amount that is lent to the customer is provided by Mudra Bank, sir. Commercial banks too aid their part, sir.
There's a
Because
share.
yes, sir, there's a share of commercial banks too, and the initial premium would be paid back by the commercial banks to Mudra Bank, sir, at the end.
Any concluding remarks for this refinance? Yes, this is a favorite question for UPSC. So tomorrow I want a proper, simple, very simple logic. It is within a proper example. Tomorrow you tell me about refinance. Yes, so we will go back. This you don't read. Yes. So what is your opinion? Final question. What is your opinion whether central government should regulate social media? See, sometimes I also, yesterday, I felt personally when I took my mobile phone, I want to message to my close friend. So it might be my personal expression to my close friend. I can share, I have the right, fundamental right, Article 19. So if I send to him, so by accidentally it got circulated. So whether I will be prosecuted, is it not violation of right to speech and expression? What do you say? Don't support my stand. My stand. You can take your stand.
Sir, are you talking about the WhatsApp?
Yes, WhatsApp. Yes, that is one example.
Okay. So to answer your larger question, which is whether central government should regulate social media companies, I think, sir, yes, central government should regulate social media companies because in the age of digital media today, social media companies are given a lot of leeway for public discussion and information dissemination, sir, and that
I see it as a democracy thriving. Every person is having an opinion. Every person is expressing. It is because of social media.
So definitely, yes, it is a democracy thriving, sir. But however, the very same social media companies are not are ideologically oriented. For example, if you look at the case in USA, we can see that the Twitter has tried to silence Donald Trump's expression, the previous president Donald Trump's expression for a long time, and he is not being allowed to be come back to onto the platform again. And however, I think, sir, democracy is when other people are allowed to speak and not the speech should not be curtailed at all. And
so you want to tell me that democracy is qualified but not absolute?
No, sir. I mean to say democracy is absolute.
No, it's subjected to restrictions. Means limited.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
Qualified means it is subjected to restrictions, like it should not hurt other sentiments. Absolute means absolute. Whatever I want, I can do. Yes, Nagapal.
Yes.
Sir, government's rationale is right to privacy is fundamental right, but subject to reasonable restrictions. And the question you asked whether the personal messages I share will they be snooped into, that it will not be so, sir. If on the prima facie if there is a illegal activity or something, only then there will be a competent authority, oversight committee, that will give the order to share this, share the origin of this message. Until then, they will not look into every message. Okay. So privacy is not curtailed unless you commit a illegal act in social media.
Yes. Anyone? Yes.
So there is a huge chance of this power being overused by the governments whenever they are in power, whichever party it is. Yes. We already have examples of governments in China. Like it's basically, although they have expression, but some topics do not even come up in the internet. So yes, if a government wants to do that, they can completely shut it down. So how do you prevent that? There is always this chance of it being overused and exceeding its limits.
Yes.
And that is something we should, as a democracy, try to preserve, because that is one of the biggest challenges to maintaining and continuing democracy generally.
Very good. Kiran?
Also, yeah.
Yes, Harith.
Sir, when it comes to the social media, the bigger issue of social media regulations, simply expressing one's views on social media is not a democracy. Democracy is also about listening to others' views, participating in a civil manner. So social media in the current form, with everybody expressing their opinions and exposing themselves to only similar opinions, has resulted in polarization rather than democratic coexistence. So in this situation, we need some
Yes. Yes, Kiran. There is internet cut. Yes. Kiran?
Yes, sir. Sir, on the social media, there are many things that are not expected of or also happening, sir, like hate speech, sedition activities, and also terror recruitment is also happening, sir. So to control this, and some of the anti-national activities are also happening. For all this to be controlled, we need to have regulation, sir. And most expected one is we need to have self-regulation, and whatever the government has given, 3-tier self-regulation, I think that is a welcome step, sir. Because whenever, if I want to send a message to my friend, whatever the message, it will not be, government won't be able to get access to that message, sir. It is end-to-end encrypted. But whenever there is a threat to the national security, then only government can ask for first originator, and then they can get access to my message, sir. I think that is a reasonable restriction which should be there, because our freedom of speech comes with the restriction that public order, morality, and some national security is also reasonable restrictions, sir.
Prudvi?
So social media in its present form has become the fastest mode of information dissemination and relied by most of its users. And even our political representatives are using platforms like Twitter for their exchange of ideas. So we have given so much of importance. So there is a need for regulation, definitely. And when it comes to right to privacy, there can be reasonable restrictions on this right to privacy, like our any other fundamental rights, especially when it is acting as a threat to public order. So I think whatever the regulation the government is coming up, it should be aided with some awareness programs where users can self-report the content which is disturbing or threat to public security. And some initiatives like in WhatsApp we get a tag like it is forwarded many times, where user can understand that it is less reliable. So such initiatives and such mechanisms should be inbuilt within the social media platforms.
Very good. Yes, very nice. So very nice it was. Tomorrow, refinance, data protection, and tomorrow's newspaper. Yes, please. Okay. Thank you. We will meet tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.